the question is more intriguing than the answer to that question. And I understand that line of thinking, but you still need a satisfying answer. If you don't have a satisfying answer, then nothing is satisfying. The
Right.
question was pointless.
Right.
And that's kind of how I feel about this movie. Yeah,
Fox and I went and saw a movie recently.
we did.
Yes. We went and saw Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day.
Not that closure day.
Not
Disclosure
that closure
day.
day. Disclosure Day. Yeah, Steven Spielberg's new movie.
Yeah, here, why don't you give the basic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Disclosure Day, to give a brief synopsis, because we're gonna spoil the crap out of it. If I would say just to get it out of the way here. It's fine being spoiled. I would not recommend watching this movie. So if you don't care enough, we're gonna spoil it. But brief synopsis: it is about basically two main characters. Emily Blunt's character, who all of a sudden starts to have seemingly supernatural abilities, speaking in languages she didn't know. She can essentially read people's minds, things like that, as well as about another character who is on the run from a security agency, a data security agency, government adjacent.
Yeah.
He has stolen information from them, and they are chasing after him. It is in the realm of the concept of the idea of aliens, essentially, to be non-specific, and it's about them both running away and finding each other, essentially. There's a lot to the movie, but that is essentially the plot.
So today, but number one, the movie also discusses, maybe not nearly as heavily as Wake Up Dead Man, but
Oh no.
it is most definitely a feature in this movie to talk about religion and
It broaches the subject, yeah.
particularly Christianity, particularly Catholicism, and
Yep.
how a reality of aliens might impact that. And it also talks about calling, which is kind of what I thought the central message of it was calling.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The themes and ideas that it touches on are more interesting than the movie itself to me.
Agreed.
Let's give a little review.
Okay.
We both were not huge fans of this movie. I found it kind of laughable at the end, like, oh, that's it. That's the movie, I guess. Like, it didn't really hold up to the premise that I feel like it set the table for something, some kind of big thing, and then the ending felt too quaint for what it was presenting. I described it to my wife like this: it would have been a way better ending to X-Files. But it wasn't that. Like, X-Files had a pretty okay ending, not great. This would have been a better ending.
I
to
actually
the general plot.
I watched a 15-minute Disclosure Day explained and what it's, quote unquote really about, and it did a really good job, actually. Like, it actually redeemed a lot of it to me.
This other video that you watched?
This other video that I watched, right. But I have to, like...
That doesn't make the movie better.
Oh, 1,000% yes. I wholeheartedly agree that did not change my opinion of the movie itself. It just made me view it differently, which helped. Yeah. Go ahead. No, you're good.
You think?
Okay, so there were incredible things about this film. It was outstanding cinematography. There were several long shots that I thought were incredibly impressive. I genuinely think that Emily Blunt elevated this movie like an entire 2 notches by herself. Her performance was through the roof.
She was great.
She was outstanding in this film.
American accent.
Yeah, well, she's great. She has a great American accent, actually. She really does. She's done it a lot. Yeah,
felt very non-specific Midwestern.
Much better than there was a Ewan McGregor movie that we saw a preview for, and he's doing American accent, and he has a terrible American accent. You can always hear the Scottish coming through, So, also Josh O'Connor, right? That's his name.
Josh O'Connor.
Yeah, Josh O'Connor also did a really, really good job. But what I told Fox afterward was, I loved everything about that movie except for the movie. Like the premise and the plot and everything itself felt really jumbled, and like it was trying to say 16 different things and only really completed 7 or 8 of them. And overall, if there was a central message to all of it, it was so layered under these little
Bogged
random
down.
things that they tossed out there that felt like like this moment should have been a really important moment, one we'll discuss later, where let's just say it is a moment in which somebody does the sign of the cross and kneels in front of somebody else, and it feels like
Yeah.
an incredibly important moment that a statement's being made, and then they literally never address it again. And
Yeah.
yeah, like there's a whole bunch of things that are going on in this that they don't resolve. And again, even with me being able to look at it a different light, I'm like, oh, when I look at it that way, a lot more makes sense, but there's still things that are being said that feel like they were just tossed in there to be dramatic or to be kind of weird and wild. Yeah.
Yeah. It felt very J.J. Abrams to me. It felt like
Yes.
mystery
Including
box.
lens flares. There were a lot of
Yes,
lens
lens
flares.
flares. It's a very mystery box-esque movie where the mystery of it seemingly is more important than the actual satisfying nature of it.
Right.
And that all just felt disappointing because I've always considered J.J. Abrams to be kind of the newer version of Steven Spielberg.
Mm,
Lots very schmaltzy, and he just, like I said, doesn't hasn't always cared as much about the plot as he has cared about the emotional resonance. And he always, I mean, the whole mystery box thing with Lost and stuff, the idea of the question is more intriguing than the answer to that question. And I understand that line of thinking, but you still need a satisfying answer. If you don't have a satisfying answer, then nothing is satisfying. The
right.
question was pointless.
Right.
And that's kind of how I feel about this movie, is that the question was pointless. It introduces ideas and broaches on the subjects we're going to talk about today. And that was where I was like, where my interest was piqued. I was like, oh, because a lot of the movie I was just kind of like sitting around waiting. It's
Yeah.
like I'm waiting for something interesting to happen, and
The
it
pacing
didn't.
is also rough in
Pacing
this.
great. There were a lot of moments that felt like there was that scene. It was supposed to be a comedy scene where she's supposed to destroy her phone. She throws it out the window, and the out the window, and tells her boyfriend to drive over it, and he misses, and so then he backs up and misses again, and then she gets out and puts it in front of her tire so that he can back up over, and there was no point to it. Like, I'm not sure why they did the whole back up and reverse and forward, and that just felt like another 45 seconds to a minute onto a movie that's already 2 hours and 25, like way too long.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that. It focused on like the breakfast she was making at toward the beginning of the movie for some reason. It had no purpose. So a lot of this stuff just felt, why are we doing this? Why are we adding more onto this movie? And because it all just meant a lot of it was disinteresting
It's
in
funny.
a movie that broaches very interesting concepts.
Yeah. Because I just finished listening to Ready Player One, like actually like hours before you and I went and watched the movie. And so
Yeah.
80s cinema was on my brain, and Spielberg is obviously probably best known for some of his
One
70s
of
and
the
80s.
most
Yeah.
famous 80s directors. Yeah.
And this felt like an 80s movie to me. A lot of the premises and a lot of the things that happened felt like something that audiences would have expected from a film 40 years ago, but certainly not from a film today. And it just kind of assumed a lot. There was a lot of things where like, all the bad guys just stop and walk away now. And that would have been satisfying again, maybe 40 years ago, but now we kind of expect more from the story and whatnot. And so
Yeah.
there was a lot in there that just felt, overall, if I had to give it a number, Fox said don't watch it at all. I would say if you
Well,
enjoy Spielberg sci-fi, if you enjoy this type of thing, I think it's worth going to the theater for. If you can see it in like a cheap theater, we went and saw it where it was like, I think it was $6.50 a ticket or whatever. And I think,
$8.
yeah, whatever it was great. And so I think that was the right price for it.
I'd say wait till it's on streaming and rent it for $5 or
Yeah,
watch it on
yeah,
Netflix or
do that
whatever.
as well. But
It
so
was yeah.
go
It
ahead.
was not worth. It was less than the sum of its parts, I think, is my ultimate. It just felt like it built up to nothing.
I think you could have subtracted 30% of that movie and had a great film, a
A
really,
better
really good
movie, a
film.
more interesting movie. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So, but overall, yeah, a little disappointing for both of us.
Yeah.